8.
Or some 8.
Hi, this is one of the High Priests of Khonshu Ray from Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. We're proud members of the collective, and you're listening to one of the collective members, the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks Podcast. Hope you enjoy.
Recording has started.
Wendell Vaughn, the first Earthman ever appointed the protector of the universe, bonded to the energy-transforming quantum bands that were both weapons and symbols of his station, fought an ongoing battle to defend all life in the universe from cosmic evil as Quasar.
Hello and welcome to the Quantum Zone, episode 25. I am Phil, and joining me as always is Master of the Quantum Zone and Master of Las Vegas.
I'm Will. Hey, everyone.
And the Master of Marvel Age and the Master of the Boston Post Office.
Matt, I'm here.
I said I kind of wanted something special for 25, and I think we got it with the 2 emails we got from our newest fan, who your book is on your way. I will not let you down.
Yes, I have mailed your merch.
They're kind of summaries of the first couple issues of Quasar and like the first issue 1 and 2. So that's kind of a nice little wrap up thing for 25. So should we do that first before we get to the issue?
Yeah, we could do a little bit of that. Also, just to let everybody know, I mentioned this at the end of episodes, but I still do have some more comic notes, Spider-Man and Quasar teaming up. And I gave one to a buddy of mine, basically pre-ordering him to write a review. Nice. He's a fellow podcaster, and him and a couple other Boston comics. They do a very funny, very filthy podcast where it's called Season Finale, and they watch the last episode of a TV show that they have never seen before, and they talk about it, and they do some weird act outs, and pretty good. For the superhero fans, they do a Smallville episode that is very funny, so I recommend it. Yeah. So shout out to John Paul Rivera. Write your review soon on your comic book. Yeah.
All right. So we got, like I said, we got 2 emails from the same fan. So it'd be nice if we got one from him and Soshin on a week. But here's hoping. But
we'd have no time to talk about the issue.
Yeah, I know. But he sent one day, then one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. So the first one says, Phil, Will, and Matt. Greetings all. Robert Wolf here, at Wolf ERJ on Twitter. And then he goes into his address. Your book is on the way, Robert. Like I said, Matt Kona has not let you down. Yeah. That said, I wanted to pass along some notes from reading back over the first 12 issues of Quasar as you proceed through the summer of Pegasus. I think the first 12 issues of Quasar form a sort of swan song for an earlier style of Marvel storytelling. That is to say, Grunwald appears to be deliberately approaching the comic structurally from a mid-70s or early 80s form while polishing that form. I think it is notable because the shift over after issue 13 is notable and immediate. From that issue forward, we see more of a 90s format in terms of material and structure and a clear view towards the future of trade collecting multi-arc storylines. Even after that shift through, certain of Grunwald's clear approaches from the first 12 issues remain present. The tonal statements I observe in the first 12 issues are as follows. First, Grunwald focuses very heavily on the world Quasar inhabits. He is careful to set up reoccurring places and to use them consistently. Quasar is not a comic about an individual who changes the world around him. It is a comic about a character who occupies a place in a world and whose place in that world changes over time, but the world remains relatively intact. Second, the first 12 issues of Quasar are a travelogue of the types of stories told by Marvel and the Marvel Universe itself. Grunwald is careful to preserve the
similitude.
Yes, of that world, and to make the book an authoritative statement of that world through the editor's notes and by covering a broad portion of the world. Cynically, this is the deliberate and powerful cross-selling tool. Quasar is a book wants you to read other comics on the stands and raid 25-cent bins, as they were at the time, for back issues because the storytelling in Quasar adds weight to those stories. Third, and I think most importantly for readers who picked this up as adolescents when it came out, the quantum bands are presented as programmable tools throughout the series. The strength of this, alongside the growth of the home computer, seems clear. Quasar is not working magic. Quasar is not exerting will. Quasar is not trained to the peak of human condition. Quasar is not genetically different from everyone around him. Quasar has a powerful tool which responds mechanically and predictably to his inputs. I think for the time this came out, that was a remarkable approach. In order to keep this under 20 pages, I'll send over issue notes and follow-up emails. I look forward to the continued discussions and enjoying the summer of Pegasus. I recently picked up the Captain America issue footnoted in the Angler's first appearance as involving the Nith Command, and we'll be going through it this weekend. I doubt there will be a panel in which we can pick out the Angler, but hope springs eternal. Best wishes, Robert. Okay, before I forget before I get to the second one, thoughts?
Oh, that's amazing. I hadn't considered a lot of that just because he's totally right. There's a huge stylistic change from issue 12 to issue 13.
Mm-hmm.
Things really, really take off in 13, and I mean, so my point of view has always been that the first 12 issues of Quasar are good, solid superhero stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't really considered that he's, kind of a travel log. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good stuff in there that I hadn't considered before, and then he's right. 13 Journeys into Mystery, boom, it takes off. So yeah.
That's what I love about podcasting. It's like, you've probably read this stuff 100 times, but then it's like, hey, I never really thought of, some of this stuff. And it's like, I think Grunwald took like the 12 issues to build Quasar's world, and then it hits 13. And it's like, well, let's see. Let me show you what we can do with this world.
Let's shift it into overdrive.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack in that email. It was very well written. If I was a teacher and got that accepted as some sort of an essay, I would be pretty psyched. But yeah, because we don't talk really that much about elements of storytelling too in depth. But yeah, and the way they do it, and there's a lot of the early issues of Quasar that are just one-offs, and they involve old characters, and they're kind of like you talk about the footnotes about other comic books, and I'm inspired to go find the Captain America that was mentioned, and yeah, I think that Grunwald definitely wants all boats to rise, and helps. Quasar has been in so many other little issues of other things, from Avengers to Dazzler and even more random ones, that he hopes people remember him and want to buy the other book, and then he serves other ones by putting it out there. I think it also helps that Grunwald had so many thumbs in so many other pies. He was editing and doing a lot of stuff, and had such a fondness for all the characters, not just old villains of the Marvel Universe, that he put it all together. And we talk about, or maybe we haven't that much, but it's a common thing in the letters page where he does so much stuff on Earth. In the beginning, people just want him to go to space. And then, like you said, with 13, he literally rockets off there. And there's a lot the cosmic really kicks in, and he's kind of finds a different voice. They've gone through a bunch of different artists and stuff along the way, and the book kind of hits a new gear. Yeah. Great email.
Yeah, great email. Actually, can you forward that to me? I'd like to read it
sure.
again. So when you get a chance, just forward it on. But yeah, thanks. That's an awesome email.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll forward that along tonight. But so here, we'll get to the second one, which I said he goes in depth on the first 2 issues of Quasar. The next day he writes Quasar number 1. All right, first issue we covered in our first episode. Consider the cover. It is direct and dynamic. There is a photorealistic background which encourages the masking effect of projecting oneself onto the cover. Primary colors are forward. The cover design is reiterated into a box at the top left. The interrupted shield design on Quasar's chest seems particularly of its time, appropriate for a synth pop album cover or the side of an arcade game. The opening splash page presents a conference table. From this point begins the construction of a world. The issue does not begin with Quasar, the character, or with how Wendell interacts with his powers. The series opens with how the world, Earth of the Marvel Universe, contemplates one source of power among many. The karate evaluation scene functions as a good and relatable introduction to Wendell with one misstep from its time. The karate evaluation would be easy for a new reader to step into. Karate classes were becoming common after school, and it establishes evaluation without an off-putting authority. There is a poignancy which will be repeated when Wendell fails to draw his father's attention without even realizing it. The misstep is that his concern in fighting a woman is off-putting in retrospect. For the time, it could read as outdated chivalry, but there's a current of chauvinism in it that doesn't fit. I think it's still about 80% right. Dr. Vaughn's team, beginning their work on the quantum bands, continues to construct a world which interacts with objects of power. Stark is added as a name to S.H.I.E.L.D., and connections out from this comic are buttressed. I particularly like the aside about root beer here. There's lived experience added to the throwaway role. It offers an opportunity for a future writer to hang a plot hook. The issue moves to Wendell's room. What other signposts could be hung out for a kid at the time? Telescope, microscope, figures, trophies, a cap poster, and even a skylight. Dream room. The testing and death of William Wesley continues to add to the world of the character. The world is interacting with the source of power, but Quasar is not yet. The montage on page 16 gives a feel for how this world views the power of the quantum bands and seeks to evaluate it. I think when looking at how Grunwald practices his craft, it's important to look at William Wesley as a demonstration for this book and an open hook for a future author. Grunwald must have picked up so many pieces himself that you can almost see an invitation here to pull Wesley back out of the quantum zone in the future as an antagonist or foil. When AIM attacks the world around the character is highlighted again. This is another established group to be found in other books you, the reader, can own for whatever the back issue bin charges. Also, having the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents present present an authentic reaction to AIM builds credibility on both sides of the world. We have seen the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents training, so we have a benchmark for how tough this foe is. They are literally faceless enemies, and that ship is a favorite design of mine. When the bands are put on, the foreshadowing glimpse of Uranus and Eon is a good hook to entice the reader to continue. A bit of mystery. Wendell defeats AIM using power similarly to how Wesley did. Reading this as it came out, I took kind of surfer vibe from it, riding rather than controlling the ocean. But reading it now, I have a bit of a different takeaway. Wesley freaks out when he realizes the bands cannot be removed, that he is not willing to accept the power and the attendant responsibility. He fights to remove the power and is destroyed. Wendell allows the power to dictate his duties to him. He does not fight against the responsibility that comes with the power. The ending with acceptance by his father is a classic hero's journey of entering the cave, facing what comes, overcoming the challenge, and returning with treasure to acclaim. It's triumphal and sets a tone of hope for the series to come. I think it was a brilliant decision to leave out the editor's notes and end matter from this issue. Aside from the impact the page could leaving those out exerts that this world and these events exist on their own. The source material and background can be assumed to exist, but not mentioning them in the text makes a point that a reader should know these things themselves through intuition and engagement with the world of Marvel. I think it is a decision that shows great confidence. The bullpen bulletins this month, which would have been across Marvel, chose the quote about Gail, "I'm sorry I have to kick your butt," or whatever the exact wording is. I think that was a misstep. It is the wrong attitude for this series debut and highlights a weaker appeal to the schoolboy fears of being beaten by a girl. I think maybe the exchange between Wendell and his father as he puts on the bands could have been more appropriate. That said, the quote used highlights something about Wendell's thought bubbles. In this issue, they tell us what he fears. Most tell us what he fears. They tell us very little of what he wants. This could be a writing trick to encourage projection. He doesn't say what he wants, so the reader's wants can be inserted. Representation is entirely a background issue here, with only S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and Resnick the scientist as not white dudes. It's good that at least the background world Quasar occupies possesses diversity, but his position in that world is privileged in many ways. All right, thoughts before I get to issue 2?
Oof. There's a lot to unpack.
Yes!
Forward that one on to me too, but
we probably could have did a whole episode just on this.
Yeah, let's Yes, I want to read that more closely, but there's a lot of great stuff in there. A whole lot of great stuff in there that I want to unpack some more before we
Well, you know what we could
dive deeper
do?
into it.
You know what we could do? I'll read these out. Well, this one, it's issue 2, and then that's it. But I'll read these out. I'll forward these to you. You guys take a week. We'll react next episode.
Okay.
And then even if people listening to this want to write in with their thoughts on it, please write in.
Yep.
Because
excellent.
Robert, you're giving us a lot to chew on, and it's good.
Yeah,
I encourage this from everybody. Yes. All right, Quasar issue 2. Issue 2 opens with an unusual splash page and the shock of comparing the beard here to the ending splash of the last issue. This issue continues what issue 1 did of presenting the world, the character, and habits without editor's notes to keep it dynamic and full of moment. There's a continued attempt at
verisimilitude.
Yes, even the professor couldn't say it.
Sorry.
In Wendell waking up, stretching and dealing with the transmission lag. We get a lived-in universe and Quasar having to move across it, almost like playing a video game before discovering the fast travel option of the quantum jumps. When are alien ruins not cool? These are pretty darn cool. Death Urge gets us to longer-term character issues to plague Quasar. Depression, isolation, exposition, heavy stuff. Exposition as in Death Urge drops a lot of it, and Quasar will carry that as a narrative burden to introduce the broader universe throughout the first 12 issues. Page 12 as the cry of so many there with "I'm not going to die" idea, character, individual, and unusual phrasing. When Eon appears, we get another exposition dump and we get the display of the past Guardians of the Universe. More foundation for storytelling in Grunwald as craftsmen selecting a site from which to build an overlooked campground to survey the Marvel Universe. We get the hero's journey again this issue with off into the dark in the cave and back to home with knowledge and a mentor. Grunwald drops the hammer in the first stellograms. It's the payoff from not having any editor's notes. It's like a magician pulling back the curtain and displaying how the trick was done. There's also a challenge issued there. Go find these issues. Join the world we writers, editors, and artists are in the act of creating each month as we have for years. A feeling that doesn't seem to be present anymore. Grunwald appears to be taking a dogmatic approach to the universe and continuity. There may be what-if stories, but they are over there, and this is the world which is constructed from research as well as creativity.
Mic drop.
Yes. We have some smart fans, I'll tell you what.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot.
Like I said, everyone take a week, unpack that. Even listeners, if you want to send in your thoughts, Soshin commenting on Robert, that'd be so meta.
I'll just give you my thoughts now. Same.
Enough said.
Ditto. Can we just say ditto?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know there's some great stuff in there that I do want to unpack some more because, even back to issue 1 stuff too that I want to. Yeah, that makes me. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's reread the issues and then reread the Robert stuff, and then we can come back and comment next week because nice. I really want to go back through those, especially and hit the points that he's talking about because that's some great critique there.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe when we do a Patreon episode, we can do that. To wrap up.
Just got to get that going.
Yeah.
But this week we're back to Quasar number 8.
Hey, wait a minute! What just ended?
The Summer of Pegasus. Yeah, this is kind of our wrap up because it even says on the cover, something is devouring Project Pegasus, and the Cosmic Avenger won't stand for it.
That's right.
And remember, the Last Secret Wars tie-in and. Don't blink or you'll miss Warlock and the New Mutants.
Absolutely, the Last Secret Wars tie-in.
But before we jump into this, there was a tie-in. Well, I saw something in a current comic. No one probably read Punisher number 1 yet, right?
Not yet.
I think it came out. I'm pretty sure it came out the last few weeks because I went to the store, bought some stuff today. Yeah, it's basically Punisher's basically been in a war with Baron Zemo for the last couple months. And in this one, Zemo's working with Roxxon, and there's all kinds of shady deals going on. And Punisher kills like a classic Marvel villain in the end. I don't know if I should. I don't know.
Oh, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
But yeah, get it. No, man. Punisher takes out a classic Marvel villain. But they're loaded. The henchmen are like transporting all this stuff for Zemo. Rocks on the. I don't think you could see the box in the back of the shutout SUV, but you could see through the window. There's a box in the back that says Project Pegasus.
Nice.
I wonder what's in that box. Is it an nth projector?
Nice.
Maybe it's Quasar's old boots, because on the cover of this he has very different boots. He's got red boots, no snake skin.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but in a way, isn't this uniform the original uniform? It's just Eon converted it
a bit. Yeah, I think so. Gave him the newer 80s-ish symbol, there on the chest, and then
because speaking of issue 2, wasn't he wearing that original costume, and then Eon like sapped him and gave him that suit
into that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've boldly jumped ahead to March 1990.
Yes.
we were in the 70s, the 80s. Now we're in the 90s.
Now we're in the 90s.
What a decade-spanning summer it's been.
It has indeed.
That's right. All right. So open the page. We get the ad for the Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2 video game
with Fabio.
For your Nintendo Entertainment System. Oh, is that really Fabio? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, nice.
I don't recognize him. I don't recognize him without a bird flying into his face. But yeah. That's
I thought you were gonna say, if I recognize anyone on this earth, it's Fabio.
Yeah. I got so many of his romance novels. Not the one he's on the cover of. He wrote them.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so Quasar, Still Life with Metal. Of course, Grunwald writer, Mike Manley penciler, Danny Belandi inker, Janice Chiang letterer, Paul Beckton colorist, Howard Mackey editor, and Tom DeFalco editor-in-chief.
All right.
And remember that don't blink part? Well, we're there.
Yeah.
Quasar's checking out extraterrestrials, so he comes to see Warlock.
Yeah.
And there's some new mutants there.
Sunspot and Cannonball, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
But where are they at? They're like on the sky. They're on a skyscraper, aren't they?
Yeah, a rooftop. The New Mutants, were they based out of a city? I don't know if I read that. I read X-Force. I read a few of the late New Mutants.
Wasn't. Yeah, I'm not too. I'm a little familiar with this period of them, but not a lot. Weren't they at the X Mansion, or even when it was blown up? Weren't they in like the bunker underneath it?
I can't remember, but I think they started at the X Mansion, but this would have been right after Mutant Massacre or around that era, maybe.
It might even be later, because they say something of when Quasar leaves. Not to jump ahead, but they got to tell Cable about it, so it's got to be sometime after issue 87.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's somewhere between 87 and 100.
Before they become X-Force, that's right.
Yeah.
So unless they were just in the building for some... wait. Up on the
Their
roof
headquarters,
of the... Yeah, it says the New York headquarters of the New Mutants.
Well, there you go.
All right. I guess they were in a skyscraper. So I guess the New Mutants are like, who the heck is this guy supposed to be? And he's like, my name's Quasar. I'm one of the Avengers. And they're like, so that doesn't give you a right to hassle us. He's like, he tells them, I think this is the first time he's described this. He's like, you see, I'm Earth's duly appointed cosmic immigration officer.
Yeah, I think he just appointed himself that.
I think so too. I mean,
well,
I guess it's easier than saying, well, my mentor is going to be killed by an alien that comes to Earth, so I'm checking all the aliens out just to see who might be a threat.
And it's probably, it probably, you know, I don't know if he's keeping the mission a secret, but you know, to like keep panic from spreading, just like not saying, "Hell yeah, I'm investigating aliens. There's a dangerous one about to, you know, come to Earth."
And also the New Mutants of all people, they know that the name Iceman is already taken. It's an immigration joke.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I thought you were making a Top Gun joke for a second.
I'm just here to challenge you to a game of volleyball, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, shirts off.
Yeah. All right. But I mean, look at it. He doesn't come in guns blazing. He's coming like, hey, I just want to ask you a few questions. It's not, he's polite. He doesn't really want to hurt people, right? I mean,
not guns blazing. What's he doing on the first page? Or is that a shield?
Bands blazing or a shield? Because it looks like Warlock. I don't know if that's his eye or I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
But yeah,
coming in business card blazing. That's what he's doing.
His communicard blazing. But yeah, he's the cosmic immigration officer. But it will be a few issues before he puts the wall around Earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And he says he wants to ask a few questions, and he says, "What race is Warlock from?" As Warlocks keeps changing into different aliens, like they like the robot from Lost in Space, and Marvin the Martian, and some weird form of Groucho
Marx. Yeah.
So what race is he from? The Technarch. They're not sure where it's located. How long has he been on Earth? It's been over a year. Are you willing?
But it's kind of a cool little twist because, the television waves get sent into space, so he's picking these up from old TV show
old
broadcasts.
shows.
Or I mean, they said he's been on Earth for a year. He might just be watching TV.
True. A lot of downtime amongst those teen mutants.
Not since Cable arrived.
It's all gritty.
And he says, "Are you willing to vouch he's not a threat to world security?" And they're like, "Sure." And then as he's changing shapes, Sunspot's like, "Knock it out, chill out, Locke." So Quasar takes off, and of course, Sunspot says, "We better tell Cable about this." And Quasar's like thinking, "Man, it's all I could do to keep a straight face the way that Warlock character kept shape-shifting like that."
Yeah.
Also, is Quasar the worst immigration officer? He asked him like 2 questions, and then he got a chuckle out of it. So he's like, "All right, this is fine." You guys.
I know, and his friends vouch for him. Okay, okay. 2 people who have been friends with you for a year vouch for you. That's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Couldn't possibly mind controlling you or anything. Okay.
And then Quasar dabs away into the sky.
Yes, he said he could use a few chuckles to take his mind off his floundering day job. Remember, people, it's been a while. Remember issue 7 that IDIC Corporation is keeping me on tenter hooks, not letting me know if they're going with my proposal to update the security system. Man, if I lose my first client, I might as well pack it in. So then he calls Eon and says, I identified an ET named Warlocks, or supposedly he's a Technarch. That name ring any bells? And Eon says, yes, Technarch is a mechano-organic species originating in the Kvich system, possessing the capacity to transform its mesomorphy, alter its mass, and transmit. And Quasar's like, yeah, well, I seriously doubt that an alien with a warped sense of humor like this fellow could be the threat to the universe you told me to be on the lookout for.
And also, we are only a few minutes into the episode 25, and I feel like there's already been more big words in this one episode than there have been in all 24 combined.
But between Grunwald and our listeners, man, yeah. Hey, we should be like, we're the podcast with the listeners with the highest IQ.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
No. And he says, I got nothing else to do today. I'm unemployed, so I'm going to zero in on one of the 11 as yet unidentified ETs. I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
And so then he flies. He's like, I wish all aliens gave off a distinctive energy signature I could home in on. That'd be too easy. And he's like, oh man, look where I am. I'm almost on top of Project Pegasus. Editor's note.
Gosh, yes, editor's note. U.S. Department of Energy's research facility, which we have a passing familiarity with now, right? After the summer of Pegasus.
He's like, it seems like a lifetime since I was last there. Not that it's any wonder who'd ever want to go back to the scene of their biggest failure. As the project security chief, it was my job naturally to ensure naturally enough to keep the place secure. Yet despite my quantum bands and good intentions, I was among the first to fall victim to the insidious mind control of the Serpent Crown. There I was in league with the forces of evil, if not for the intervention of a band of outsiders, among them the Thing and Scarlet Witch. The project would have been lost. Worse, the world would be writhing under the tyranny of Set the Serpent God. And where did all this take place, Will?
Another editor's note. This all took place in Marvel Team Up number 5, which was last episode, everyone.
Or 1982.
Yeah, exactly. Or 19, or both.
But I love in that flashback, he only mentions his friend Ben Grimm and like the hot chick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not Doctor Strange or Spider-Man. Well, I mean, okay, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man kind of drove up there, so that's kind of lame. He probably didn't want to call that out, just being nice.
Yeah, but did we see how the Scarlet Witch even got up there?
I
I don't think she flies, so she would probably have to drive, or unless she took a Quinjet or something.
How did she get up there?
Because remember, Spider-Man was battling the guards in the parking lot, and then all of a sudden, like Doctor Strange is gone. He turns around, and there's Scarlet Witch.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the last we saw her was she left the movies.
Yes, and she was running, but I don't think she walked all the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah. She hexed her way there.
I was going to say, unless she rode a broomstick up there. Knowing how badly I let everyone down, I resigned. I haven't had the nerve to go back since. So I guess that's probably, was that like the last appearance before Quasar 2? Or?
I think so. There might have been no, I think you're right. Yeah, because when he appeared in the Fantastic Four, he was still with the project. And Janine was still his fiance, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if I've read every appearance of him in Marvel 2 and 1, but every one I've read, he was still with the project. So, and in Dazzler, he was still with the project. Yeah, so that might be. But he says, I can't let my past feelings prevent me from doing my new job. I'll just have to. Then he's like, hey, that's weird. The entrance is wide open. You can't blame me this time. People are waltzing in. Either security has gotten really lax since my day. Why? Because the door's open. There are people waltzing in and out of there all the time. But there's something bad hiding. Wait. Does it say hiding down?
Going down.
Sorry, it's a
little marked. It's a little marked up on mine too.
Yeah, the G. Yeah.
Oh yeah, even on the reprint in the trade, it's a little bit goofy. So.
And they said it's dark. Why do we get the feeling this is not simply an energy conserving measure? Now, where was that light switch?
Hey, now Robert, our reader, our listener, right, was talking about the little details. That's a cool little detail. Yeah, where's the lights? I'm a human. Where's the light switch? Of course, I have the quantum band, so why wouldn't I just light it up? But where's the light switch? Is a pretty cool touch, I think.
His first thought should have been like, is Aquarian back?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Dang it.
And the power's out, and considering this place studies over dozen different types of energy, that's no mean feat. Something is drastically wrong, unless, of course, the DOE closed the facility without the press catching wind of it. Yeah, I'm sure they left the door open too. Oh, but see, he says, I come with my own light source and power supply. All these years of still know my way around like the back of my hand. So he jump starts the elevator with some quantum juice, he says. And then in the last panel, he seems to lose his pants.
Yes, the quantum juice melted off his pants.
Will, is it miscolored like that in the reprint?
Nope, it's blue.
Ah, they caught it.
Oh! Wow. He was a little Marvel Boy flashback.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in the original, it looks like flesh colored. Yeah, good thing they caught it.
When they did that later, when they had him in the wrong costume, they just said, "Oh, it was I forgot. I got the wrong costume. I wore it for a week before I even noticed because I stored it in the bands."
The costume's gonna get retconned eventually anyway.
Exactly. So there we go.
It's not a soul in sight. Good thing, I guess. Without power, life support's down. No air circulating. We saw that in our Summer of Pegasus. He says, "Let me check the administrative floors. If there's some directive closing the project, that's where it'll be fouled." And he finds Dr. Wilburn's office. His nameplate's still on the desk. And Quasar's like, I'll just shuffle through these classified papers.
Exactly.
But finds nothing, so he gets in the nearest zoom tube and descends 4x4, scanning for any life signs. The good thing about the power being off, I can set the quantum bands to pick up low-level infrared heat emissions. Programmable tool, Robert. See?
Exactly. Yep.
Like those given off by living organisms. If the power was up, there'd be way too much background radiation to detect anyone. And he goes down to the communications level. Remember, we talked about the room in the bubble.
The conference dome. Isn't that an awesome little detail?
Yeah, but it's yellow here. Remember, wasn't it green? Unless it has to be powered up to be green.
Yeah, man. Good point.
Now let's not forget that Eon. He told himself, let's not forget that Eon pinpointed something alien in the vicinity. Wonder what the odds that the ET has something to do with the project's evacuation. I wonder. But then he finds a project employee, Helen Carver, who's hiding under the table.
With a face mask on.
Mm-hmm. He says,
Oxygen mask, yeah.
Yeah. He says, my name's Quasar. I used to work here. But yes,
you are...
It's Helen Carver. Well, Miss Carver. Have you ever been a secretary or jogger? But wait, he drops his aura, so what's he breathing?
Well,
it looks like he's holding his breath at the top of page 9. So
yeah, but he's talking at the bottom of page 8.
He's breathing
with no aura. I mean, unless there's a little bit of air left,
yeah.
Oh wait, but maybe they're in the conference dome. Is that? Well, I guess she's in there and she can't breathe. But,
I don't know. But she tells him there was a power outage. They began evacuation procedures. I got flustered, ran back for these 2 floppy disks I'm responsible for. All right, kids. Back in the day, computers had these little slots. You could put floppy disks in. I was going to say like CDs, but kids there probably like, what's a CD?
Yeah, and you could store like up to a megabyte of information on it.
I don't think you could store a whole episode of our show on one of them things.
I don't think so.
And floppy disks were the type of material. It was floppy. It was just you could wag it. It would look like it would bend. Like hard drives were hard disks, and it's very literal.
It's actually to the point now. There's a disk icon, a floppy disk icon to save your files.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know that was actually referring to an actual physical object, which is a floppy disk,
Oh, yeah, I heard some story. I forget what some kid called it, but yeah, it was just like, what?
What's up with that weird present with the hole in it?
Yeah, or like, what's that book or something? Yeah. So, after she raced for her floppy disk, the emergency lights went off and I lost my way. It was all I could do to find one of these oxygen masks and grope my way in here. And he says, you have no idea what caused the blackout? No. So he says, don't worry, Miss Carver. Your ordeal was over. I'll send you up to the surface. So I'm kind of dating my secretary. So yeah, he puts her in a bubble and sends her up. He says, I'll go with you, but I want to check for more stragglers.
Yeah, he does this very suddenly, by the way. He just like puts her in a bubble. He's like, all right, puts her up in the air.
Don't need you panicking on me.
Yeah, and also it's funny that she says that she groped her way in here. When the page before, as soon as Quasar meets her, he like grabs her hand and shoulder, so he kind of gropes his way in there too to meet her.
Oh my. So he says, so they evacuated. Wonder why I didn't see anyone milling about outside when I flew in. I must have been too lost in thought to notice them, or maybe they hadn't emerged from the evac tunnel yet. So he says, let me finish with my floor-by-floor heat scan, get down to the power generator. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that in order to cut all power to this place, someone must have done a number on the generators. So minutes later, on the bottommost level of the project, it's like, look at this. These generators look like they've been eaten away by acid or something. What could have caused damage like this? And then there's a big hole melted in the ceiling from the floor above. An escape route? Better check. Up to the maintenance level. And then, hey, what's that in the corner? No, it's not Double Dragon. That was the ad. It was like the first one too. Double Dragon.
Oh yeah. That was a good game. If you do 2 players, you could beat up your friends and they get real mad at you.
Is that all video game? So Quasar finds a cocoon spun out of metal. This is pretty freaky. I've got this sick feeling there's something alive in it. Can't detect any infrared emissions though. Wait, there's something very faint coming from inside it. Let me see if I can amplify. And he's makes like a quantum stethoscope. He's listening in.
Oh yeah, I love that. Oh man.
Yeah, says there's something inside the pod. Not sure if it's good or bad, but I'm gonna find out. Says carefully now. I've got to peel back these layers of metallic goo. Starts using the quantum bands, and then whoa, a man in a costume with a force field around him. Who we will come to discover is the blue shield.
Mm-hmm.
Ah yes.
Easy, sir. I'll have you free in a minute. But behind Quasar, he hears something. Giant metal monster.
Mm-hmm.
Drooling acid. So
Spraying acid.
that's right. Quasar puts up a shield, but then he's like, holy, it's eating through my energy shield and something else that eats through that quantum energy.
Yeah.
Seems like at least every other issue, he's like something's getting through that shield.
Yeah, no kidding.
But then
bad luck with villains these early days, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then he sees the creature sucking up the corroded metal off the floor, like how a fly eats, slobbering its digestive fluid on something, then lapping it up. I know we should be tolerant of physical differences among alien species and all, but this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not like that Helen Carver. Hey now.
Yeah.
And he dropped an anvil on its head in pure Roadrunner style.
Exactly.
But the anvil didn't phase it, so he says, "Let me try encasing him in a foot-thick solid energy cushion." And that's when he turns to talk to his blue shield, and blue shield says, 15 men. It sprayed 15 of my men, dissolved them, and ate them. He said, "Sorry, sir. How is it you managed to survive? Your force field?" He says, "I guess. Couldn't burn through it." He says, "Don't worry, sir. We're going to stop this thing. Avenge all your men. Count on it. Because I'm an Avenger."
I guess that answers the question why he didn't see all the people evacuated outside.
Yep.
Yeah, there's more than 15 people in the project, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, my name's Quasar, by the way. I used to, and before he get out his resume, he's like, he's moving. And the creature breaks through the shield.
Rack.
And he says, "Stay down, I'll cover us." He's like, "I just can't figure how this creature can burn through my energy constructs like that, unless it's simply eating away at the component matter in my constructs, unbinding the energy in the process." And that's when
Look out.
Blue shield. He's like, "Yeah, look out." And Quasar's like, "It's hammered through my shield without using its throat spray. What's going on? Does its pores exude some sort of molecular acid?" Yeah, we need some strong deodorant. It's blue shield says crushing him, and then it starts moving him toward its mouth. And he's like, do something. He's like, better try to bolster that blue guy's force field if I can, or that creature will snap him in half. That's when he creates a brace in the monsters. He says, "It's not going to hold any longer than the other ones have." That's when he calls Eon. He says, "I'm up against some sort of omnivorous metallic ET who corrodes through my energy constructs like they were Swiss cheese. Can you figure out what this thing is, where it came from?" And of course, Eon, I'll get back to you.
Yeah. He just doesn't seem to get the immediacy of the request, right?
He's always an old man. It takes him a while to focus on cosmic awareness.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you just need answers from your magic 8-ball, and it says, "Ask again later." You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But then Quasar has a thought. He says, "Hey, if the omnivore's nervous system is electromechanical, maybe if I generate an electromagnetic pulse, I can overload it and shut it down. Here goes." Then he goes, "It stopped. No, wait, it's moving again, corroding my containment sphere. Blast!" But that's when he gets mad. He says, "I am mad now. No more Mr. Nice Guy." And he makes a quantum sword and cuts the creature's hand off.
Which is pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. He's like, "I did it.
Yeah.
Severed its hand with my laser sword. The blue guy is free, but the hand starts crawling away on its own. That's when Quasar bubbles it up. So does the creature have to be whole to eat through the construct? Because that hand never gets out of that construct.
I wonder if that, the venom or the acid's only in its throat or up there in that area.
Oh yeah, or maybe comes from its heart. Yeah, well, maybe there's no acid pumped through that hand. Yeah. Then he grabs the hand and blue shield and says, "Come on, mister, we're getting out while we can. I'll take you up to the surface." And that's when Eon comes back. He said, "Quasar, I have information for you." And says, "Great, spill it." Okay, here's your Secret Wars tie-in.
Here it is.
He says, the entity originates on an artificial planet created by a renegade extra-dimensional Beyonder. Dubbed Battle World by the 24 superhuman Earth people, lured to fight a secret war there. The planet contains certain alien technology, some of which was used by scientist Reed Richards to fabricate replacement parts of the body armor of Iron Man, which had been damaged in battle.
Editor's note.
Which issue?
I'm waiting for my sound effect.
Oh, I thought I did it after you said, okay, here we go.
In Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, number 8.
And I think it's interesting to point out here that Reed Richards had to repair Iron Man's armor because that was Jim Rhodes, not Tony Stark in the armor.
Absolutely. And I believe number 8 was, wasn't that the first appearance? The first chronological appearance of the black costume, Spider-Man. So Venom.
Yes. Because the first actual appearance of the black costume was Amazing Spider-Man 252.
Yeah, which was actually, months before because they went away. They came back the next issue, but Secret Wars played out for like an entire year, right?
Yeah.
12 issues.
But upon returning to Earth, Iron Man discovered that the replacement parts were dysfunctional, presumably due to differences between Earth's and Battleworld's magnetic fields. Thinking them useless, Iron Man disconnected the alien accessories and left them in a snowbank in upstate New York.
Editor's note. Good old Iron Man number 183.
Unknown to him, the real reason why the alien armor parts didn't work was that they were alive. Had Iron Man not discarded them when he did, they'd have taken over his entire armor system. Man, everything that came back from that planet was alive.
I know.
Fusing themselves into a single ambulatory organism, the armored aliens sought out food and shelter and found both at Project Pegasus a few miles away, entering through a ventilation shaft that has been eating, growing, and evolving down there ever since. It's like, thanks, Elon. He says, I might not have any better idea how to fight that thing, but at least I know what it is. Nothing I create with my quantum bands can hold it for very long. Its molecular acid eats right through. There were only some place to stick it where it could eat all at once without. And he's like, hey, the magma tap. Project scientist doing thermal research drilled a hole straight down in the Earth's magma level. Let's see if I can. And that's when the creature returns. He's like, let me see if I can lure it where I want it. And then splash page, slam it in.
Yeah, goom. That is an awesome sound effect. Goom.
Oh yeah. And it like, gives you like the impression of the size of the creature. Yeah.
Smashes him in the chest with a giant quantum mace. Right over the magma pit.
I'm waiting for the creature to say, man, you should have went for the head.
Yeah.
Get it? Like Thor and Thanos. I said, yes, it fell back in the pit. He's like, but I got to get it completely in so I can close the hatch. There's a real good possibility this may kill the omnivore, but considering that the thing's killed 15 men already, being responsible for this creature's death is nothing I'm going to lose any sleep over. See, didn't Soshin write to us? Or was it someone else? Somebody wrote to us and said, yeah, killing isn't Quasar's first thought, but he's not adverse to it if the situation calls for it.
Yeah, but it's definitely not his first impulse.
Yeah, no. But then it seems like the creature's down, but then he starts clawing its way back up. He's like, shoot, tenacious little son of a gun. Looks like if I want the job done right, I'm going to have to do it up close and personal. So Quasar puts a shield up and starts pushing it down into the magma tab. And it's spewing acid all over him. Even with my eye filters, it's so bright in here. Can't see a thing. Heat, pressure, unbelievable. If it manages to dissolve my protective energy aura, I'm going to flash fry. It's like, got to keep moving.
You did leave out one funny thing.
What?
Where he goes, I got acid vomit all over me. Yuck.
Ah!
Yeah.
Hey, these are,
Acid is so gross.
hey, these are his internal thoughts. He's not,
Yeah.
he's not trying to impress anybody.
True.
And he's panicking because he's like, one hole in this field and in my shield, I'm done. It's like, come on, you disgusting monster. Cut that out. Can't go any further. Heat's penetrating my aura. Have to turn back. The creature's got to make it let go of me. Let go. But he must, because then he starts shooting upward. He's like, please, please, please let my aura hold out till I make it out of this inferno. And he makes it up, and then he expels his thermal energy down the pit, where it then caps it. And then a short time later, top side of the project. He says, well, it's over. The project is safe. And of course, another whiny security guy, Chief Pegasus. Yeah, no thanks to me. Some security chief I am, letting 15 of my men die.
I think it's just like a requirement for the job, right?
I think so. And Quasar says, there's nothing he could have done. He says, I know what you're going through. When I was security chief, I screwed up so badly, it took 4 outsiders to come in and pull the project's bacon out of the fire. It's no disgrace. It's just something that happens. Don't let it get to you, make you want to toss in the towel. He's like, tell you what, I got to get going. You can assign credit for the project's rescue any way you want. Take care now. And he's like, oh, by the way, what's your name? And that's when he says Blue Shield.
I was one word off. I thought it was Blue Guy.
But Quasar's flying back to the city, and he's thinking, weird being on the other side of the fence. I see now it's easier coming in from the cold and saving the day than it is putting your butt on the line day in and day out. Hope the Blue Shield takes my pep talk to heart. Wouldn't want him to repeat my mistakes. In light of the deaths and all, I hate to have anything to feel good about, but I can't help feeling I vindicated myself tonight for all the times I failed the project. Vindication. That should be the title. Vindication.
Yeah.
But
his cape has seemed to have regenerated a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I wonder if Eon can fix that.
Maybe.
He transformed it from the old costume. He would think.
Yeah, sure he could.
But then, meanwhile, Blue Shield's staring up like almost looks like longingly at Quasar. And that's when Wilburn decides to poke his head out. And he said he wants to know what happened. And Blue Shield says, a creature was eating the project, Dr. Wilburn. Killed 15 of my men. Don't worry, it's gone now. Quasar came in and saved us all. Me, I was all but useless. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to help the engineers restore power to the place. My resignation will be on your desk in the morning.
The end.
And Wilburn's like, oh, not another one.
Dang it.
Damn superhumans. Oh, but we do get a small science section in the letters page.
Oh yeah, this is when they say that science section is going away for letters, but they actually found some real life possibilities of doing what the quantum bands do, if I remember correctly.
Yes, from the New York Times of October 31st, 1989, of particular interest to Quasar fans. It seems that researchers at Harvard University have discovered a way light can bind matter into molecules in an experiment conducted by Dr. Is that June?
I think it's Gene, just spelled with a J.
Okay, but yeah, I could. That second letter is kind of blurred. I can't see if that's an E or not. Golovchenko, professor of applied physics, and 2 colleagues from the Roland Institute. Laser light focused on tiny plastic spheres caused them to move toward each other and bond together. The length and strength of the bonding was controlled by the intensity and wavelength of the laser. Now, if this doesn't sound like what Quasar's quantum bands do with light particles, photons, and molecules, we don't know what does.
So, hey, it's been nearly 20 years. I should have some quantum bands now, right?
We can't get flying cars. You want quantum bands?
You know, hey, Harvard University is a 20-minute drive away from me, so maybe I'll just go see if Dr. Golovchenko is in and see if I can hook something up.
hey, they might have stuff out in the library. You're good with libraries.
That's right.
True. The library doesn't open until 1 p.m. tomorrow, so it's a hassle.
Age-appropriate libraries.
Yeah. Quick note on Blue Shield. I believe he ended up staying at the project because he shows up again in like Quasar 51, 52,
Oh yeah,
somewhere in there.
yeah.
So he did not resign. He ended up staying, I believe.
Oh yeah. Now that you say that, didn't he say something about changing his mind or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I forget. Wasn't he one of those guys who tried out with like Speedball in that issue of Captain America for like the Avengers? Was it like 352 or something?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
There was like a group. Yeah, I can't remember if Blue Shield was in there, but they all kind of like flunked out because Cap was like, "Well, try again in like 6 months," and maybe Blue Shield was just like, "I'm going back to
go back to
Pegasus." Because again, another Grunwald written issue, so maybe.
Yeah.
I bought a Dazzler issue for 50 cents because Blue Shield was on the cover, and that's a crossover from Pegasus. So that kind of takes us, and Quasar, and that kind of takes us from almost back from where we started with the letters page. How he recommends other issues and different types of comics.
Yes,
absolutely.
Also, maybe here's my theory about why he doesn't quit. Maybe because the acid destroyed the desk he was going to leave his resignation on, so there's no place to put it.
See, we're not even on the same wavelength tonight. I thought you were going to make a joke about him dropping acid or something. But yeah, we're getting closer, and hey, next episode, another Quasar issue 9.
All right.
Ooh, wow.
Excellent.
That's the Modem issue, right?
Yep, that is.
Yeah.
You think Quasar goes for all types, man? Wait till you see the head on this chick.
Half brain will travel, I think. Here we go.
There's your preview. Yep.
Modem.
I like the title of this. I just like the title of next issue. Half brain will travel.
All right.
Yeah. This issue had a cool title too. Steel Life with Metal. Very artistic, you know.
Oh yeah.
I still think it should have been.
Life.
I still think it should have been vindicated.
Vindicated. Sounds like a rock song. I don't know.
Either that or don't do acid. Either that or don't do acid or something.
Don't do acid.
Yeah.
All right, we had a lot to unpack this episode. Should we adjourn and let everybody?
Yep. Forward me those emails, pretty please. I want to read up on them and study for next week.
I can't remember if I have your email. I probably do, but just do me a favor. Resend me your email addresses when we're done, and I'll shoot those out to you.
All right, cool.
All right, and Robert, Soshin, anyone else who hasn't done it yet, keep emailing us. We love the feedback.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So yes, next episode, another issue of Quasar 9. All right, let's get out of here. Master of the Quantum Zone, Will Allred. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Wallred. That's WALLRED at Twitter. I'm at quantumzone.org. You can also find my self-published comic, Diary of Night, at diaryofnight.com. And lots and lots of other places, too. So holler if you want to chat.
All right. And Matt Kona, Master of the Back Issue Bins.
Yes.
The Punisher.
Yeah, but I haven't got Punisher #1 yet. So yeah, if you have any old copies of Marvel Age, I'm reading them. I'm digging through. I've just got a handful from Chris's Comics in Seabrook, New Hampshire. And also, my wife didn't want to come into the comic book store with me, so she stayed in the car. But she did not have the car on, and it killed the battery. So Chris's Comics also jump-started me. So thanks for that, guys.
Oh,
thanks.
Cool.
I was about to say, you left your wife in the hot car.
Yeah.
Wives and
I don't know. Yeah.
Wives and not wanting to go in the comic stores. I know your pain.
Yeah. But I'm everywhere, Facebook, Matt Kona. I just reactivated my Twitter presence. I'm not tweeting as much, but at MATTKONA on all the social media platforms. And yeah, email. I'll look forward to reading the email when I send it. And also, of all those Marvel Ages, I told you earlier off air, I was buying them to read the Mark's Remarks columns, and I bought a bunch of early ones before he started writing them. But I did find a website that has all of the transcriptions of every single one he wrote. So I will tweet that out if you want to read those from Mark Grunwald's. I'll post the link and I'll send it to you. You can repost that from our official Twitter.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll put that on our social media. Which you can always find facebook.com/Quantum Zone Pod, at Quantum Zone Pod on Twitter, along with CL Sidekicks, or even follow CL Sidekicks on Instagram, and the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. You can always leave your feedback in your own voice. And if you don't want to, just email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com.
awesome.
All right. But yes, like I said, send me your emails. I will forward Robert's stuff to you. I just need an an episode to break all those down. But until then, thank you everyone for joining us. Again, come back next week. Another issue of Quasar from the regular series.
And Robert, email us your breakdown of issue 10 so we can talk about it on the following week.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we're going to jump back to Avengers after number 9, right?
Let's see. No, we did Quasar 9. We're going to do 9 and 10, and then we do Avengers 317, 318.
Oh, sweet.
With a young lady some of you may have heard of named Nebula. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for writing in, Robert. But until next time, Quantum Zoners, keep it quantum.